Hi, welcome to the Pursuit of Truth. This one's about Ozzy Osbourne, who's just passed away, and I wasn't really like a big fan of his. I mean, obviously I've heard Paranoid and Changes, and maybe there's others that I would know that if you played them, and I would say, yeah, I know that one, but I wouldn't be able to name it as Black Sabbath or Ozzy Osbourne. Obviously, as a kid, I probably watched a few of his reality show with him and Sharon, Jack and Kelly. Um, but mainly it was in the latter years when he was on Discovery or whatever, was it maybe Bravo? I don't know what the channel was there, but when he was with his son Jack and with Kelly and with Sharon, mostly Sharon and Jack, when they did their paranormal shows. When he would, I think there was one where he went around with his dad, visiting places when he wasn't so ill. And then there was the Halloween things where they would go around. Um, that was more him and Kelly in the end. But just, and I don't know really why, but it has quite touched me. I suppose I mean I did. He's very down to earth, and they were as a family down to earth. And maybe it's that fabric of them being interwoven through the reality show, and then the paranormal things throughout time, growing up as if it were. But yeah, it's just made me think how sad, especially because 2 weeks ago he did his concert, and then a few days ago I saw pictures that Jack Osbourne put on Instagram of holding his grandson, watching him in concert, and then there was something about inauguration. I saw that, and pictures of him, Jack, when he was a boy with his dad. Obviously, they must have maybe known that he was close to the end. But it's just come very sudden. I thought he still had years more because, in that concert he was still able to sing, and obviously he was sitting down, but and on the paranormal shows he was more. He did sit down a lot, but on one of them when they did the Halloween, I think the first one he was moving around, but obviously may have been a bit more shaky. But it's just made me think about life and death, and maybe it's also because I'm in the stage where I am with still mourning my mum, just in my mind thinking about those last moments. What did he say in those last moments? How difficult it must be for the family. Um, and apparently we were by his side. Um, it's windy. That's why the door closed. Um, when he passed away, and just I don't know, just making me. I was a bit like this with Linda McCartney and a few others that where I don't know why certain people touch me, and it may be because I watched him a lot on those Discovery, the three series that they did, and I liked him and Jack's, and also Jack's other paranormal shows. They're very likable, and just maybe they sort of become part of your, like a sort of an extended family. Strangely, um, but just that aspect of I don't know what I was talking about there, but yeah, it's just in my head. Like I was saying, like with others, that I keep thinking about it now, and I know when I go to bed, I'm going to be thinking about, in my head playing, that he was singing his concert, those paranormal shows it was on, and thinking about, him on in his deathbed, as it were, and his family around him, thinking about how that was, and like I did with my own mum. And maybe that's also more resonant now because I wasn't there when she passed. It was unexpected, and trying to work out what her last words, what her last thoughts, and all that stuff that when you're the ones left behind, you go through. I don't know how it really seats with the pursuit of truth. Obviously, the pursuit of truth is a universal truth, isn't it? We all go through death, and I suppose it's just the impact that someone who don't even knows death can. I mean, like people talk about when John Lennon or Elvis Presley or Buddy Holly died, or Kurt Cobain or Heath Ledger or whoever. They will talk about how that impacted their lives, even though they didn't even know these people. But I just feel that maybe because I've been touched recently by, close family death, that sorrow that those that are left behind must be feeling, and to know that, hoping that he was going to live longer. And I mean, I don't even know if they knew that this was the time was counting down, or whether it was very unexpected and he was fine. Because on that concert, he looked, other than sitting down, I mean, he was singing really well and he had the energy and everything. So, but I guess with Parkinson's, it does. Well, some people seem to live it. It doesn't. Billy Connolly had it. He seems to have had it for ages. I guess it happens different in different people. But just, I know sometimes when someone dies, and it's individual to each individual, that it does make you then think about death and life and existence, and that moment that we are all going to witness personally, and that we will witness with our loved ones in different orders. Anyway, take care, Daisy. God bless and peace.